welcome to Aspire TV. I'm Jim Censabella, your host today. Joining me today is freelance photographer Darlene Francis, who's joined us here. Darlene, how are you, and welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Sounds great. So we're going to kind of step forward a little bit where you are today and kind of work our way back a little bit today. But I'd like to talk a little bit about where you are today as far as freelance photography is what your business right now.
Yes, it is.
And what else are you doing besides that?
I have a lot of things going on, fortunately, on both sides of the camera.
Okay.
As a freelance photographer, I carry out all kinds of projects, everything from weddings, family portraits, to model portfolios, and I also work with some television shows providing their behind-the-scenes coverage.
Okay.
On the opposite side of the camera, I have a lot of fun as a model. I've done runway, I've done catalogs, I am on lots of websites, and I have a book to tell you about when we get to that point.
Absolutely. We got a book called For the Boys. We're going to get to that in a little bit too, so that's great. So take me back a little bit now. In your career, I understand earlier in your career was really about hospitality management with some big, large chains and large businesses. Tell me a little bit about that and how you get started.
Absolutely. It started 30 years ago. I actually started like most people. I was a young person. I had a part-time job, and I was working for a major corporation, and I loved the brand, I loved the product, and when I was sort of at a crossroads of where do I want to go, I decided I wanted to pursue business management.
Okay.
I went through business management training, and I worked in several of the hard hitters, the big chains.
So give me some ideas of some of the chains you work for.
Absolutely. McDonald's, Wendy's, Dunkin' Donuts.
Okay, so moving your way up kind of the corporate ladder there.
Absolutely, all the way up to the point of being a general manager of, at one point I had 9 locations and a bakery facility that I was running. So I had been doing that for 30 years.
So what was the biggest thing you enjoyed doing about as you were moving up in your career? Some of the highlights of your career and what you did?
The best part of that for me was working with a young person who had never worked before and instilling work ethic into that person, explaining to them about the importance of their work ethic, being to work on time, being pleasant, having manners and politeness with our guests. Public relations, that was my forte, training and public relations.
Okay, so the career that spanned doing that type of business, how long was that for?
As I said, I started out when I was a teenager, and I did that up until last December.
Last December.
Correct.
So following through several chains, McDonald's, you mentioned Wendy's.
Yes.
And then come December, things took a little bit of a change in your life at that point.
Absolutely.
Obviously for the better where you are today.
Absolutely.
Talk about that.
Absolutely. What happened was just kind of, you know, the politics of corporate America today. And I ended up finding myself no longer working in that scenario.
But do you think that was a sign for you? Do you think that, to me, I believe timing is everything, okay? And timing is everything in different parts of our lives. And then all of a sudden something's presented to you. And every time one door closes, another door opens. Did you take it and run positively in that kind of
Oh, you better believe it. I mean, the first thing that happened is I found myself available for photo shoots and workshops that I wouldn't have been able to do. At the same time, my elderly grandmother was nearing the end of her life, and I was able to be with her. So I just really looked at it. That would not have happened if I were starting a brand new, I would have been starting a new position, and that, did not work out. And sometimes I think the blessings come when we don't get what we wanted.
But it makes us work harder for what we wanted.
It does. Well, it makes us work for different things. It makes us refocus. It gives us a new perspective, and it gives us a positive outlook that this is the way that we can pursue things that we were afraid to pursue or didn't need to pursue before.
And in a career like you had leading up to December, all different types of facets and every kind of job that you've had there, right, moving up, dealing with people all day long, which is a big deal, especially in that corporate America world. Now you kind of come around to something that's presented to you an opportunity, but had you always had the photography bug going back years, maybe even as a child? Is it always something you aspire to do?
Absolutely. I remember my first little camera that was given to me for Christmas when I was 7 years old, and I was running around taking the most horrible blurry pictures you could ever imagine. And
now these are the cameras that shot the picture out, right? What we have back in our day, which would have been Instamatic cameras or the Polaroid cameras that would come out.
Yes, this was
and
like
you'd have to wait and blow it and shake it, and then the picture would come out. Okay.
This, you throw a cartridge in, you snap the pictures, and then you have to take them to like a photo mat or somewhere like that and wait like 2 weeks for your pictures to come in the mail, and they're these really crappy, tiny little pictures. So digital has changed everything, and as as I got older and as technology changed, and now obviously as my life has changed, I've had opportunities in photography, and I absolutely love it. I've been in contact with some incredible, talented photographers, mentors, who have shown me and helped me to improve my techniques, and now I love it. I've learned the post-processing, because now with digital photography, a lot of it is editing after the fact, and that's all really exciting, and I love it. I really do.
So share with me, though, there had to be a story at some point. There had to be a point where there was a reason why you started to get into photography right off the bat, especially coming out of December. And sometimes it's an inspiration. It's something that we forget, we take for granted, right? Then we move forward and say, geez, I wish I had done that. Tell me what that was about.
Actually, my real turning point really kind of goes back about 5 years. I was married for 20 years and I found myself divorced. And then when that happened, I had some free time.
Okay.
And at that point, it was more the modeling side of things, that I had been approached by a company to do some modeling for them. And it involved charitable events. It involved a lot of things for the troops, which is ironic that that's a passion I have. Wounded warrior, homes for the troops,
Sure.
The disabled American veterans. I am really closely tied into all of those organizations. But I started that with some modeling, and that was sort of a backup to what I had for a full-time job, just to get me out of the house, to give me a social life so I would meet people, because I was divorced and I was kind of sad and I needed something to do. And coming in contact, having to model, I needed a portfolio, and I came in contact with photographers, and I began to really look at what they did. And I said, I want to do that. I can do that. And I learned how to operate because of my modeling in front of the camera. I was able to know what other people needed to do, and I was able to sort of go from there and just launch it, and that's been a pleasure.
And was there ever any point in taking pictures in photography that really inspired you? Something with the family, something going on, maybe it was a family, maybe it was a pet, was it something in there that really inspired you to want to do that?
Oh my goodness, well yes, I didn't always take great pictures, and at one point, after my divorce, I had 2 elderly dogs, and one passed away.
What type of dogs were they?
I had a part Rottweiler, part Shepherd named Jasmine.
Okay.
She was 16 years old. She passed away of old age. And then I had a very large black lab mixture, and he was 15. About a year later, he passed away.
Okay.
And I had no good pictures of these dogs. And I couldn't, I mean, you know, I had to take the last one to the vet, and my hands were shaking with the camera. I couldn't take a decent photo of him at all. So I had a friend of mine who, after I was doing photography and I had become quite good at it, he said, I feel so bad, I'm going to have my dog put to sleep. And I said, I can't. Do you have great photos? I can't let this moment go by for you without...
Because it had happened to you.
It happened to me. So I went to his house and I got pictures of him and his dog Chelsea, and they were beautiful photos. And so he was very grateful, because then he had to have her put to sleep, and he's got beautiful pictures of himself with his beloved pet. And they're your family. Your pets are your family.
Pets are your family, and that can touch people too. It's especially types of pictures like that. I'm sure you got some emotional response out of him too. I bet.
Beautiful pictures, absolutely gorgeous photos. And I then heard of other people, word of mouth. Now, when this is a situation going on in your life, I don't charge for that service. I actually will go and take photos of people's pets for them. And
so from an expense point, you won't charge them for that. You just really kind of make sure you get there and take care of it for them, and that kind of leads to what references and word of mouth, which helps you. So that's a smart angle to work. I like that.
You know, and it's not done for business reasons. It's really done for humanitarian reasons. I mean, it's really, until you've felt that kind of a loss, you don't know what that's like. And you look through your photo albums and you go, oh no, I don't have anything.
Well, to laugh about that, look through photo albums. I look back from when I was a child. You know, our parents, right? Our parents always keep our photos, and now I'm understanding that people can take those photos and digitally remaster them and put them on CDs and make them actually look better. Because, you know, the photos that were taken back then were really thick paper, and the Polaroids that were taken. So it's amazing what you can do now with the equipment that you have. Everything's digital, thrown through a computer, right? And so You put your logo on it, right? So what's the name of your business?
I put Darlene Francis McKinstry. My copyright is my name. That's specifically what I use.
Okay.
And that really keeps everything clean and simple. When I'm on Facebook, I use Darlene Francis.
Okay.
And I'm also on Pinterest as Darlene Francis, and that's where you can see a lot of my work. But
So Pinterest you're on, so that's really
I
the
am.
focus one? Okay.
I like Pinterest.
There's Facebook, there's
Yeah.
Pinterest, there's Instagram too.
Yeah, I'm not on Instagram.
Okay.
I kind of have, shied away from that one because of the professionalism of the work that I
So tell me
have.
about that, because it's important to understand that when you're sharing your own photos, you're proud of them, and you want to make sure that you put them in the right area where they can be appreciated, right?
Right. What happens, unfortunately, too often is that I will strive to produce a great quality image for someone, and I will properly edit it for them and color correct and make sure that it's exactly right to my standards to put my name on. And unfortunately, sometimes people, once they have it, they'll crop it, they'll slap it on Instagram, they'll apply a filter to it, they'll
Sure.
make it grainy, or they'll do something. And that would be great if it was your work, but it doesn't represent my work.
Well, you're an
so-
artist, right?
Right,
So
it's my
artists don't like
quality.
anybody touching with their work at all. They
What
want
if-
it left
yes.
alone, and they want it to
Right.
be presented in how you present it.
Yes, you can't draw a mustache on the Mona Lisa, you
No.
know what I mean? So it's your work and you want it to represent you, for sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So give me an idea. So what do you do your photography? First of all, you locally from the area?
I live in Richmond, New Hampshire, which is just outside of Keene, and that's pretty well located near the corner of Vermont, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and I travel all over the area to do all kinds of work. So
Okay.
most of the weddings tend to be up in the Seacoast area or up in the Lakes region. I will travel for that. I do a lot of work here in Nashua, Hudson area. I also travel to Rhode Island. I have a designer that I work for.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say the design company. That's Chaco Couture. I work for her
Sure.
as an exclusive designer, so I do fashion events for her. So I do travel pretty much anywhere I need to go, and I have gone as far as Florida for a wedding, and I have also done pet photography in Florida for
Wow.
someone who had a cat that was dying.
So how about someday putting together a book of maybe perhaps people that have lost pets, for that matter, and
That
it
would
could
be
be an
beautiful.
opportunity, huh?
It's a great idea.
Inspirational book, inspire people to understand that their pets are like their family members.
Absolutely.
So I could see something like that. It might be something people would be interested in.
Absolutely. And I don't have a problem with someone reaching out to me on Facebook or through Pinterest to say, my pet is aging. I had a lady who had a beautiful champion Doberman, and it had bone cancer and was going to need its paw amputated, and she wanted photos before that happened, before the dog lost its paw. So I got right out there because surgery was Thursday. I believe I flew out there on a Tuesday.
Wow.
And got her some really cool
I bet.
photos. Oh my God,
I
yeah,
bet.
it was cool. She had a motorcycle, so it was her motorcycle, her dogs. It was really quite a shoot. It was
So the photography side is there for you now, but there's some other things you're thinking about doing. You're talking about
Absolutely.
doing hosting some shows, working with networks to kind of promote yourself and promote their networks too. Tell me a little bit about that.
Absolutely. A couple of years ago, I was invited to be a guest chef on Luca's A Culinary Journey, which was a cooking show, and I appeared with him twice as an assistant chef because I also have a passion for cooking. I kind of have a well-rounded, jack of all trades
Okay.
kind of approach to things. So I was on a cooking show. I also happened to be around when HGTV was in Keene, New Hampshire for Pumpkin Wars.
Pumpkin
So-
Wars, okay.
Yeah,
What
that
is
was-
Pumpkin Wars?
Oh my goodness, if you've heard of Pumpkin Fest in Keene, New Hampshire,
Sure.
it's a celebration where they bring thousands of pumpkins, and on this particular year, Keene, New Hampshire was competing with Highwood, Illinois, and so the
So-
Property Brothers, Drew and Jonathan
Okay.
Scott, were present. We had Drew Scott in Keene, and Jonathan Scott was in Highwood, Illinois, competing against each other as we were competing against each other for the largest number of lit jack-o'-lanterns. And although that year we did not break the record, we did beat Highwood, and I did meet Drew Scott, and I have photos with him. It was very cool. And so I did end up as like an extra, just you might catch me in a couple of scenes.
Okay. Because they also
of
do that pumpkin cannons where they shoot pumpkins across, and there's actually contests that go on with that. And everybody brings their own cannons and shoots pumpkins.
I've seen that, but that wasn't actually part of this.
Okay.
But the show itself was a lot of fun, and it was great family TV. So
Okay.
so that was great. I was a part of that. I was also an extra on a television show called Paragods, which is a lot of fun. They're aspiring to get into a network. Right now they are cable-based, but I see talent there, and I see a future there that some network's going to grab them and scoop them up, and they're going to just take off. But I've been with them a few times, and
Okay.
I've been invited to go back as well and do a few more lines there.
So where are you headed right now? Where are you headed? And part of what you're doing, how do you feel like you can inspire people going forward?
The sky's the limit. Seriously, as any person looks at what they enjoy, if you thought to yourself, my favorite thing to do, if I could get paid for that, what would it be? And so I'm happy when I'm in front of a camera or behind a camera. I am not working. That's how I look at it.
Okay.
It's just too much fun to consider it to be work. So
Okay.
I tell people to, we have to make a living. You have to do things that you're passionate about, but follow your heart and follow your dreams, and don't give up on those things, because anything you put your mind to, you can accomplish. And
Okay. And your book is, who inspires you right now? Who, if you had to pick one person that inspires you, who would that be?
oh my goodness, that would be tough to narrow it down, because I have seen so many people that have accomplished their goals and their dreams. Right now, I am so proud of the designer that I work for in Rhode Island. She is getting a Lifetime Achievement Award in fashion design in
Okay.
November. So she's just, her whole life she struggled, and she started off living in a small country, and she came to the United States, and she's the American dream. So
Outstanding.
Sharon Cox-Cole, she
Sharon
is someone
Cox-Cole.
who really
Okay.
inspires me right now.
So talk about the book real quick. So grab this
Oh, this
book.
is
I kind of
excellent.
thumbed through it, but give me an example. This is called For the Boys, Pinups for the Troops.
That's right.
So talk about, so this was something that was a project put together. Some of the work you had done in the past obviously fit what they were looking for. So you were
Right.
brought on board amongst many, many women across the country.
Yes.
And basically, give me an idea of what the old pinups and how they go in retrospect to what you folks did.
Okay, there's a very famous artist called Gil Elvgren, and
Okay.
his old pinup portraits are absolutely famous, and they're beautiful, fun, and they started, way back in, I'm not sure if it was World War I or World War II, but these pinups became very popular. And what is happening is Frank Monahan has, with his love of these pinups, decided to contract photographers and models from across the country to recreate these pinup paintings in a photography form.
Okay.
To details, so the shoes, the style of the skirt, the hairstyle, everything is as precise as we could do it. I love the pinup genre, and I have a lot of work in that genre. And he spotted it on my Facebook page and in my portfolio. I have a couple of portfolios at Model Mayhem and One Model Place. My work was located and spotted, and I was contacted to recreate two of the very famous pinups. I did that, and lo and behold, I'm in the book.
And there they are right there. Number 10 and pages 10 and 11.
Pages 10 and 11.
Looks, one's called Too Good to Be True, and the other one's called A Spicy Yarn.
That's right.
Pretty cool.
Thank you so
Very
much.
cool, very
Now,
cool.
I ask people to please buy the book, and don't
Okay.
buy the book to sell books for me. The book is available on Amazon.com, and it's For the Boys, Pinups for the Troops. The second edition is the one that I'm in, but both of them are great. But mine, if you would like photos of me, they're in the second edition. And every time a book like this is purchased, another copy is given to a soldier who's in the line of duty, something for him to look at. So we're trying to get thousands of these books out to the troops.
Okay.
And this just launched in May, so it's still brand new. It's hot off the press. I'm very pleased to be a part of it. It's a great project.
And all the money goes, and the books, can you explain that, how it works to me? So somebody buys a book, one book goes to troops?
When you buy the book, of course, you're getting the book from Amazon.
Sure.
And Frank Monahan is making sure that a copy of this book is gotten to the troops. And he's really the behind-the-scenes guy doing that, and that's he vows that that's what he is doing. I do believe that that is what he's doing.
And the website here is the www.forthetroopsonline.com is their website?
Yes,
Okay.
there is a website. You may purchase the books through the website. What I found to be true is that if you go on to that website, sometimes these books are in print. they might direct you to Amazon. If you try to get it through Amazon and they're sold out, go back to the website. So they're just trying to keep them in stock right now. So don't give up, just keep ordering them. I was able to get mine from Amazon.
Okay.
And
well, this is a very cool book. This is a very cool book. You know, it's funny, you always see some of these pictures from back in, especially in the early war days, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so he's actually done a fantastic job, not only matching the pictures up, but the types of individuals, right down to the hair, the look, the shape, and everything. It's fantastic. So especially anything you can do for troops, as far as I'm concerned, is definitely something that we all should do. And to be able to get something here that can also send a book to the troops too. And sounds like he's doing a wonderful job. And again, it's Frank Monahan's, gentleman.
Yes.
And it's for the forthetroopsonline.com.
Yes.
So what else is going on? Anything else coming up
just
down the line?
One other thing with this book, just to let you know, I have had individuals, friends of mine from across the country who have purchased the book and contacted me to ship it to me. I autograph the book for them and mail it back to them, and I would do that for anybody that wants me to do that for them, so gladly. In terms of upcoming projects, I have a swimwear designer who I have worked for before. She is with starwear.usswimwear.com. She is sending me more swimwear, and I'll be doing another photo shoot for her as well. So
outstanding.
So that's a website that I'm located on as well.
Outstanding. And you can continue to work with other networks and other shows and developing your photography.
Absolutely.
Right? Outstanding. And give us your Facebook page. Give us your names, right, real quick before we go. Absolutely.
On Facebook, it's Darlene Francis. And on Pinterest, it is Darlene Francis.
Okay.
The actual photography name that I use is Darlene Francis McKinstry.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. I love it. I love it. Going forward now for Darlene, the future looks real bright for you, obviously. You got a lot of different opportunities here. Will there be a 3rd and 4th edition coming out for this book?
I'm not sure, but if there is, I can only hope that I would be blessed to participate again, because I have really made it a passion of mine to get that done accurately, the right shoes, the right dress, the right hairstyle, every little tiny detail, the ball of yarn, every little tiny detail needed to be right. And there are a lot of Gil Elfgren works, and I would be more than happy to do it again. So Frank, if you're out there, I'm game to do it again. So
outstanding.
Anyway.
Well, again, the book is called For the Boys, Pinups with the Troops. Darlene Francis has been kind to join us today. Again, you can go to the website again. Frank Monahan put this together. It's forthetroopsonline.com.
Yes, it
okay.
is.
It's been wonderful having you as a guest today. So I want to thank you for coming in, Darlene. And I want to tell everybody that you can go ahead and find Aspire TV on Facebook TV. And go ahead and check us out on there. Sign up, like our page. And in the future, catch up for more shows. And we also have a show that we have on YouTube. We'll be starting to broadcast all of our shows on YouTube, which will be great. So I want to thank you. My name is Jim Censabella, again, with Aspire TV. I want you guys to have a great day, and look for us on the next show. Thank you.